Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. As prices at the supermarket continue to rise, some people are finding alternative ways to stock their pantry. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg spoke with Chamberlain Acres about ways you can save on your produce.
According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, in 2023, all food prices are predicted to increase by over 7%. The produce section is one area of the stores that is seeing massive price jumps. The USDA predicts that processed fruits and vegetables will see a 16.5% rise this year. If you're looking to avoid the supermarket markups, one place you can go is a local farmer's market. Even in the winter, there are still farmers markets that sell produce across the southern tier.
Our main vegetable person usually has produce usually from till the end of February or end of March. So there's a lot of root vegetables and things like that.
The Chamberlain Acres Farmers Market in Southport is open on Sunday afternoons and is one place you can find produce prices that can compete with the supermarkets.
The customers, they don't really seem to flinch too much about the price or anything. Prices definitely have gone up. It was a dry summer this year, so there was less produce to begin with.
Going to farmers markets helps local farmers more directly. It can also give you a better sense of where your food is coming from.
Here it's fresh. You know what's in it. You can talk with the farmers. They can tell you exactly if they use chemicals of any time or if they and it's nice to be able to find out exactly where your food's coming from and how it's taken care of.
If you're looking to save money on groceries, consider other places you can go to restock your fridge before running to the supermarket. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Southern Tier.
The FBI is offering a $5,000 reward for any information leading to the location of a missing Y-Sox woman last seen in 2011. According to the FBI, Maria Miller was last seen 12 years ago at her job at the Dandy Mini Mart on Route 6. Miller and her husband were planning a trip to West Virginia to visit family before her disappearance. Anyone with information on the case is asked to call the FBI. The Ithaca Police Department needs your help finding this man, the suspect of an assault, they say. The assault happened in the 200 block of South Cayuga Street. The suspect was trespassing and illegally dumping trash when asked by the victim to leave. The suspect did not do that and, we're told, punched the victim in the face before taking off. If you know this man or have any information about the incident, call the Ithaca Police Department. The jury still has not landed on a verdict in the case of Dustin Drake, a man charged in a DWI crash that resulted in 4 deaths. The trial has been going on in Bath, with the jury now out on deliberation. The crash, which happened in October of 2019, claimed the lives of 28-year-old Corby Higgins, 26-year-old Coy Minor Jr., 25-year-old Nicole Wise, and 29-year-old Adam Bellamy. Drake faces 15 counts against him, the most serious being aggravated vehicular homicide. People in Buffalo were awoken this morning by an earthquake rumbling its way through the city. Big Fox's Maggie Hall spoke to some people there who used to live in the southern tier about their experience with the quake.
This morning, Buffalo was hit with an earthquake. It shook windows, porches, floors, and dog crates. The 3.2 registered quake occurred around 6:15 this morning, waking people and pets up. Donnell Felco, Ethan Gall, and Sierra Murphy all lived in the southern tier before moving to Buffalo.
My reaction to waking up to the earthquake was, initially, I was really thrown off because I've never had my house shake so violently like that. Really crazy. I live really close to a train track, so I thought initially that it was just the train that was really, really loud.
I've lived there for 2 years, and I wouldn't have expected there to be an earthquake.
So I finally dozed off a little bit, and I thought a car slammed into the house. Because I had already, back when the blizzard was happening, I could feel my house rattling so much during the 2 days of the blizzard. So I just assumed, it was just one of those things where it's oh, did something hit? And then I didn't know. I couldn't, in my mind, I couldn't make sense of what was going on. So I just kind of froze and closed my eyes and went back to sleep.
Hopefully tonight, the people of Buffalo can sleep through the night and early morning without any seismic activity. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News.
Buffalo wasn't the only place rocked by an earthquake today. A powerful 7.8 magnitude quake hit southern Turkey and northern Syria, killing more than 2,000 people. Alex Hogan has more.
Turkish officials are calling it the deadliest earthquake in a century, a 7.8 magnitude quake hitting the border area between Turkey and Syria early Monday morning. Hundreds of buildings were destroyed almost instantly, and thousands of people are dead, with that number expected to climb significantly. Survivors describing a horrific experience as they tried to escape.
We felt the quake. It was very strong, so we pulled out with the kids, with my wife, and as we reached the entrance of the building, it collapsed totally on us.
Hours after the first earthquake, another quake measuring 7.7 hit less than 100 miles away. Hospitals on both sides of the border are now being flooded with victims, while hundreds of rescue workers dig through the rubble and debris looking for any survivors.
We can expect the death toll to increase significantly. There's been a lot of building collapses, and it'll increase more significantly around the epicenter of the earthquake.
And more help is on the way. President Biden offering assistance to Turkish officials. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his government is sending rescue teams and medical aid, and the European Union is sending supplies and personnel to aid in the rescue efforts.
We have mobilized more than 10 urban search and rescue teams from a number of member states to support the first responders on the ground.
Syria's ongoing civil war could complicate the rescue mission. The area is currently divided between rebel and government-held territory. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Ohio's governor urging residents near the site of Friday's train derailment to evacuate, fearing a major explosion after a temperature change in one of the rail cars. Smoke still billowing in East Palestine, Ohio, after about 50 freight cars derailed. Federal investigators said an issue with a rail car axle caused the incident. The town's mayor warns people to stay away from the site as the fire continues to burn and release potentially toxic fumes. New York City will no longer require COVID vaccinations for city employees. This includes police officers, firefighters, and teachers. Mayor Eric Adams made the announcement today. City officials say employees who were originally fired for declining the vaccine will not automatically get their positions back, but can apply at their former agencies. Your complete workweek forecast is still ahead. Plus this.
A unique type of church is using a psychoactive drug to help people seek spiritual connections and heal their mental health. I'm Marianne Rafferty. Details coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Hi everyone, welcome. I'm meteorologist Sam Ryan. After hitting high temperature in the upper 30s, I saw warmest was around 38. We're going to have temperatures staying mild here above the average and a chance of precipitation, an unsettled forecast technically speaking, but chances of precipitation each and every other day. The first one, maybe just a few drips for Tuesday afternoon. Then a little bit better chance at slightly more widespread rain showers here into the day Thursday, followed by a brief cool down. It looks like maybe Friday evening or definitely Saturday. We could have even by Saturday a little rain-snow mix because, again, we're going to have chances of precipitation every other day. Seems to follow that pattern for the overnight. We'll see our temperatures falling down into the low 20s outside. And we'll be partly cloudy to kick things off, I think, Tuesday, maybe a little sunshine. And then we'll see that fill in rather quickly with some cloud cover. A front moves through the area. Again, maybe picking up a few stray drips. And the peak wind gusts, that's into the overnight. It's going to be nice and light. So maybe a little fog out there. We had that set up again early Monday morning. Chances of precipitation increase through the day here Tuesday as we head into the afternoon. Only about a 35% chance, though. As we look at the forecast model, most of the rain will head off to the far west. As it moves on through, it kind of falls apart. You see that there? And then a little rain snow mix into the overnight to our east. We'll have some lingering cloud cover Wednesday morning, but Wednesday looks rather pleasant. We get a break in the action followed by our next system, which will be originating this time out of Texas. And because it's moving out of Texas, it's going to be a little bit warmer, so it looks like a little more widespread shower activity here. Here's our first round though, Tuesday. A couple hundredths of an inch of rain. As I mentioned, the next one will be forming down here. We have this ridge building over the Atlantic. That's going to keep spinning these storms up into this area. And so our next one, again, looks like it moves in late Thursday, really into the day Friday kind of time frame. So there it is. It's got a lot more moisture to work with. Rain will blast through here, and then a brief cool down on the backside of that. So 23 degrees at 7 a.m. Tuesday, 38 at noon, 41 with some of those showers starting to move in. Winds developing out of the south, so above the average, which is 35 for this time of the year. And notice around the region we'll be in those low to mid 40s for afternoon highs. Wednesday, eventually back into some sunshine. The clouds are tricky here. We'll be around 43 degrees, 43 around the region, so it looks rather pleasant, partly cloudy skies, and then those clouds quickly move back in. Chance of showers developing late. High 52, but winds are going to be breezy out there, and with those showers developing late, might want to keep that umbrella handy. Could linger into early Friday morning, and then we get on the backside of that, we start to cool down, and chance of a wintry mix, maybe some snow showers Saturday.
The latest tech company adds to a wave of layoffs, and ChatGPT could be coming for jobs. Plus, the most luxury-obsessed parts of the country. CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
Dell Technologies is set to lay off more than 6,500 employees. That represents about 5% of the company's global workforce. Dell previously paused hiring and placed limits on travel in order to cut costs. It says additional cost-cutting measures are necessary due to decreasing demand for Dell computers. Companies such as BuzzFeed are already using ChatGPT to generate content. Experts in the field say the AI chatbot could replace jobs such as copywriters, bloggers, retail workers, software engineers, and graphic designers. ChatGPT hit 100 million users just 2 months after its launch. Millennials are raising eyebrows as a new poll shows 35% still need their parents' help to pay bills. The Fortune poll also finds that 63% of millennials and Gen Zers say they're burnt out, saying they don't know how to do simple tasks like changing their oil or tire, tying a tie, and sewing a hole. And a new study revealing Washington, D.C. is the most luxury-obsessed region in the U.S. Custom jewelry experts found people in the D.C. area search terms like luxury apartments, hotels, and vacations the most out of any state. New York coming in second, followed by Florida. And New Jersey and Connecticut took 4th and 5th place, respectively. That's business. I'm CJ Papa.
A different kind of church gaining traction here in the U.S. is offering attendees a psychoactive drug to help them broaden their spiritual horizons. Marianne Rafferty has a closer look.
A growing number of people are turning to a mind-altering drug to establish spiritual connections and heal past traumas. And they're getting it from an unlikely source: church. Ayahuasca is a psychoactive drug which often causes the user to hallucinate for several hours. It's typically made into a bitter tea-like beverage using 2 plants found in the Amazon.
It's been used religiously as a sacrament.
Those who consume it say ayahuasca has helped them reach spiritual enlightenment. Others claim the drug relieved mental health struggles traditional therapy and medications failed to heal.
It was through the Brazilian religions that ayahuasca is spread, mainly through 2 of the religions, the União do Vegetal, or UDV, which have churches in the U.S., and it's legally using ayahuasca in the U.S., and the Santo Daime Church.
Now across the U.S., more ayahuasca churches are popping up. In Utah, the Hummingbird Church was previously an underground operation, but since 2021, they've been offering monthly public retreats where groups partake in ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca is still considered a Schedule I substance, meaning that it is largely illegal. There are several churches which have been granted the use of ayahuasca because they consider it to be their sacrament.
Researchers say ayahuasca still needs to be studied on a larger scale to validate any health claims, but critics warn the drug could trigger bad emotional responses if proper counseling isn't provided to the users.
Still ahead, the American Academy of Pediatrics reveals guidelines to combat childhood obesity. A look at the new protocols coming up. They're the first updated guidelines on evaluating and treating childhood obesity in 15 years. And the American Academy of Pediatrics reminds doctors how important early action is when it comes to combating the crisis, which is impacting millions of kids. Ted Lindner takes a closer look at the new protocols.
Early intervention could be key to combating childhood obesity. The American Academy of Pediatrics is urging doctors to follow its new obesity guidelines, which call for earlier use of behavioral therapy, surgery, and medication, depending on the child's needs.
This promotes an approach that considers the child's health status, the family system, the community context, and the resources for treatment.
Nearly 15 million children and teens in the U.S. are considered obese, meaning their body mass index is at or above the 95th percentile for kids of the same age and gender.
Obesity has been considered a personal choice and a shameful choice. And we know that it's not. It has to do with genetics, and it has to do with lifestyle, and it has to do with socioeconomic status.
Failure to treat obesity in kids could cause them to develop other serious health problems.
Comorbid illnesses like high blood pressure, kidney disease, liver disease.
The guidelines list intensive health behavior and lifestyle treatment as one of the most effective behavioral strategies to treat childhood obesity. But this can be hard to accomplish because it involves 26 hours or more of face-to-face counseling to address things like nutrition, physical activity, and more.
Be a role model for the kinds of life skills that you want your child to have, whether that be daily physical activity or eating vegetables every day.
Besides implementing healthier lifestyle choices, the guidelines advise doctors to offer weight loss medications for kids 12 years and older. Meanwhile, doctors are being asked to evaluate people 13 years and up who suffer severe obesity for weight loss surgery.
Millions of Americans are expected to tune in Sunday for the Super Bowl, but just how many? Nate Four has a look at some of the numbers, including the astonishing amount of beer expected to be consumed as the Eagles and Chiefs battle it out on the gridiron.
Roughly 193 million people are expected to watch Super Bowl 57 as the Eagles and Chiefs face off in Glendale, Arizona.
They're the two best teams out there, and I think it will be exciting and explosive.
State Farm Stadium holds roughly 73,000 fans, but millions more will watch on television. The National Retail Federation expects over 103 million people to throw or attend a Super Bowl watch party, with over 17 million more watching at a bar or restaurant.
I think it's the atmosphere, for one. You'll be around like-minded fans and just the energy and the excitement that a lot of the bars, have.
The NRF also predicts Americans will spend over $16 billion on game day festivities, breaking down to $85.36 per person. Most of that will be spent on food and drinks, specifically beer. Analysts project fans will drink 325 million gallons of beer during the game, and bars in Phoenix are stocking up for thirsty and hungry fans.
We order probably about 10 times of our normal volume.
In the tourist-heavy neighborhood of Old Town Scottsdale, distributors will have trucks loaded with beer and liquor on standby to help bars quickly replenish their supply during the weekend. But if you're planning to host a Super Bowl watch party, the party goddess, Marley Major, has some tips to keep your guest engaged.
The key is to have all kinds of different activities and to really treat it like an open house.
She says since Super Bowl Sunday is typically the longest party of the year, make sure you have plenty of cold drinks, tons of ice, and a spread of different snacks.
The one thing a host or hostess can do to have a touchdown of a Super Bowl party is to really theme it out and focus on having it be a great time with great decor that supports the food.
And if you want to get in the Arizona spirit during the game, the unofficial state cocktail is a tequila sunrise. All you need is, of course, tequila, as well as orange juice and grenadine.
We'll be back in a moment. We want to leave you with a smile. It might not sound like the most romantic place to get engaged on Valentine's Day, but there's a good reason to pop the question at a Cracker Barrel restaurant this month. The chain is offering a chance to win free food for a year to couples who get engaged at one of their locations. Couples must post a video of their proposal to Instagram between February 10th and February 16th. They also have to include a caption that explains why they decided to have their big moment at a Cracker Barrel. 5 of those lucky couples will be chosen to win. I'm Scott Beadle. Thanks so much for watching.